Welcome, everybody. We are going to start with somebody that doesn't need introduction. With you, Helena Moreno, Vice President of the City Council of New Orleans.
Thank you, Dr. Gershanik. What an honor to be with all of you today. This is so long overdue, and I have to say that it would have never been possible if it wasn't for Anna Gershanik and Dr. Gershanik. Yes. We've all known the contributions that the Hispanic community has put into the city of New Orleans. And yes, we also know the contributions that Hispanic workers contributed towards our rebuilding. We've always known that, but there's never been anything to show our gratitude to these workers. I was here during Hurricane Katrina. I was actually still a reporter at the time. I used to work for a television station that competed with the television station that Angela Hill used to work at. I see Angela over there. But you know, I was here during Hurricane Katrina and obviously covered all of the devastation that happened. But one of the most uplifting things that occurred after the storm were all of the individuals who came to our city to help us rebuild, many of them being the Latino workers. And without them, not only would New Orleans not have been rebuilt in the track that it was rebuilt in the fast track that it was rebuilt in, but other parishes would have been rebuilt. But to this day, there'd been nothing to show our gratitude until now, thanks so much to the work of the Gershaniks. Yes, you can absolutely applaud to that. I also want to acknowledge, before I turn it over to the CAO for the city, that our council president is also here, Jason Williams. And the two of us thought it was so important for both of us to be here because I think this monument, this statue, also shows what a welcoming city we are and what a wonderful and diverse city we are as well. So with that, let me introduce our new CAO, Gilbert Montano.
Buenas tardes. Thank you for having me and allowing me to say a few remarks on behalf of Mayor Cantrell. You know, this is very sentimental to me. Although I'm new to New Orleans and to the city, it's really put our arms around myself and our family in many different levels, especially the Hispanic community that we're attributing right now to. My father has laid concrete his whole life, so watching and seeing the monuments of the rebuilding efforts through Katrina and all the different variations just rings real near and dear to my heart. I mean, many summers I spent shoveling sand and concrete in wheelbarrows, much like a lot of these folks did. So to be able to actually visualize it and see all the work and effort that went into the rebuilding and the tribute that goes into the monument really is special. So I do want to thank Dr. Gershanik and his wife Anna. I think this is an amazing monument that they have gifted to the city. I as well want to attribute the success of so much of the rebuilding efforts to the Hispanic community. I want to thank New Orleans for offering what I understand to be the first Hispanic CAO in that regard, and I really want to. I think it's a wonderful opportunity for our community, and it brings a whole different perspective, and I'm excited to do my best to help organize and lead the city the best I can, and I'm proud and honored to work with Councilmember Moreno and Councilmember Williams and the other members of the council, and of course the mayor. I think everybody's really leaving everything they can on the field for the benefit of the city, and I can't be more honored, proud, or excited to be where I am today and to look at a monument like this. I think we've came a long way, and I want to thank those responsible once again, and especially our employees that helped establish and build this. And with that, I'd like to introduce someone who even needs less introduction amongst this crowd, Dr. Gershanik.
Thank you. Thank you. I did take a pill, so I hope I don't get too emotional. But it's not like I do a monument every month or two. But I must confess, I think I got two great ideas in my life. Once every 50 years, I married her 50 years ago, so now don't expect anything else until I get to be 125. So, thank you, Councilperson. Thank you, Helena. As soon as I got in touch with her office, she said she will be willing to help by all means, and we are so proud of your accomplishments. And we want to also welcome, Mr. Montano. I think it's great to have somebody with all this good curriculum doing the administrative things for our town, and it go without saying how proud we are of all the people that is here. I must confess, we ran out of chairs. I apologize, and my son-in-law is there standing up. Anyhow, I didn't do that on purpose, David, and I'll be honest with you, I thought I will need to fly somebody from Argentina to get enough for the first row over here, but and I'm really very, very grateful for so many folks. I cannot be having enough time to tell how well I feel delighted to have all of you here. And I hope you understand the weather is the only day in the week that they're not okay. So I do have contacts. So, I know I don't do too many things well, and I know somebody there say, what is he saying? Well, the English won't get better. That's one thing I never really tried to learn. But at any rate, let me tell you a little bit about the monument and what inspired this is. I need to say something before that. I know in the TV, on the press, you saw about me and a retired neonatologist. That's fake news. My wife got really worried for a while that, but no, I still working, not very well, but I still doing my thing. So the fake news away. So, okay. So what this inspired, as part after Katrina, like before, we were doing, I was part of the group that volunteered to do some mentoring of the students in public high schools. And one of the groups that we try to mentor, mainly through CADA, the Council on Alcohol and Drug Abuse, which I'm grateful to them, it was the fact about talking about drugs and talking about their lives of these young students. And one of the things that seemed consistent when I went to tutoring then was the fact that when we speak and they try to tell me what their family do, or where their relatives, their fathers, their brothers were doing, the Latino group seems to be feeling a bit ashamed. They will go just like, I say, what's going on? Don't tell me you don't understand my Spanish. That's a good one, and not everybody will agree, but that's the point. And, the way that I got it is they start telling me, well, we feel like the work that my parents do is menial work. And what I asked, what is it? They say, they are in construction, or they are cleaning all the houses that are being rebuilt after Katrina. And I couldn't believe it. I say, I came back after I left post-Katrina with my functions, came back to work, and what you hear throughout coming back through the streets was a lot of folks speaking Spanish, and a lot of them, being in the middle of the heat and being in the less optimal conditions. And I try to tell the students, these Latino students, you need to be so proud of what your family did. Yours and so many others gave us this town back, this town that we love it, that we feel so much ours. I know when people ask me where I am from, I say uptown New Orleans, nobody believe me, but that's the truth. But I will improve the English eventually. But so I got back home and I tried to tell my wife, and of course I got the, she said, your ideas, and like we say, I say I need to do something, and so we start working, trying to get something done. Many of my good friends that were artists, Latinos, Hispanics, gave me their ideas, and so we started building all kinds of sketches. Of course, the first few years, they gave me all kinds of abstract things. I think some people here will agree, somebody got a fountain, another got a wall, another got... And I say, no, really, I need something that, I barely pass culture 101. So I want something I can really relay immediately, and so the children and the generations to come that will be very factual. And so finally, good friend who's here, Luz Caputo, say, why don't you talk with this artist? His name is Franco Alessandrini, sitting right in the front. Oh. And I say, okay, well, I went by the river. He got this great monument to the Italians, and got quite a few more around the state and around the country. And so we got together, and then he started drawing sketches, and they started working like the thing I wanted. And so I don't want to remind him that we changed it about 25 times, Poor guy, I don't know how he talks to me after all these years, but it was great. Of course, he was the main artist in charge of that, and I didn't know how to tell them, Mr. Franco, the boys look a little too European to me. You look like coming out of an Italian movie. Look like Marcello Mastroianni over there. And I don't need to tell you about the lady. Typical Sophia Loren. And it was really interesting because I was in Houston when he sent me the pictures. And, my daughter that is here, I better don't repeat, she said, are you trying to do an X-rated statue? And I said, that was not my intention. So I think that he helped me to kind of polish and make the lady looks very much working. And so with a lot of things changed, finally we got to something that we agree, and he was able to put that roof. You go without saying, we initially got 3 men, did I say that already? And then my wife didn't let me go to sleep with her until we changed and put one lady there. As, truly it's a contribution. Good, I was able to say it finally. She was going not to let me have dinner until I changed that. But anyhow, at any rate, I'm really grateful to so many. Of course, it's so many people there. It's incredible the number of people that helped to get this going. Of course, the schools where the kids inspired the whole situation, and we're already making arrangements to get some of the children come here to visit see the river, and be a tremendous experience in trying to get a combined knowledge of all what's going on post-Katrina and the river and what have you. And we, again, like to really thank everybody that put up with us. And I know I did have 2 more minutes, no, maybe half a minute. So let me see if I remember all the people I need to thank. No. Okay. Well, I think I better let my wife that speak English to do the thanking, but I really thank you guys. Like I said, I'm overwhelmed with this crowd. I couldn't believe it. Thank you again. For the English translation of my talk here.
I'm just going to say a few words first. Thanks so much for you. Thank you all for coming. We truly appreciate it. First, I really want Franco to stand because he's the artist. He is the one who had this idea, which was very moving when we saw his sketch, and I want to publicly apologize him for all the times that I contacted him because my husband isn't there, so he started a couple of times and then he put me in the middle that whatever change it had to be made, I had to do it with Franco, and I think he and I understood each other much better. So, and I also want to acknowledge his wife, who have a lot to do with this. Margaret, please stand up. Also, I want to thank all the public officials who are here. Jason, thank you so much for being here, and the Honorary Consul of Italy. Okay, and I don't know but I see our friend Bob Livingstone back there. So thank you for coming. And mostly I'm very, very happy to have my family here. That's the most important thing for me, to have my wonderful 3 children, Alex, Viviana, and Esteban, their spouses, Maureen and David, and my so very, very wonderful 6 grandchildren. Will you all stand up, please? This is not just a legacy for us, it's not just a legacy to the city, it's a legacy to them. And we hope that they will continue to support the same issues. We are very proud of the work of all of them. So we hope that they will continue our legacy. Thank you. Also, I want to thank mostly, we work fantastic with both administrations. I want to thank, this was done, the whole process took a couple of years. I wanted to thank Mitch Landry and his wife Cheryl, who's here representing him, and everybody, and Jeff Abair, who was our backbone. Jeff came and had empanadas with me, and he just fell in love with the project, and he helped us so much. Thank you, Jeff. And I also want to thank the current administration and all the people, and also Vincent Smith and everybody in his department. Vincent, are you around? I know he was there. David Morris, okay? Thank you, Vincent, so much. David Morris, I don't know if he's here, but if I forget anybody, everybody else who had something, who gave us so much support and worked so well with us and with the artists. And also, I just want to say that I am just so moved that we were able to do this. I just love our Hispanic Latino, I call them Latino because not everybody's Hispanic. Our Latino community, I just love them all. They are hardworking people. And I just hope that their children will be as proud as we are of having them in our community. Some of the workers during Katrina left, but many others stayed, and they have become very productive in our community, and I'm just so proud of them. And like I said, I hope we will all, render tribute to them. Thank you so much, everybody. I want to introduce somebody who was here during Katrina and worked hard to make this a better community and has come back. He's our dear friend, Arnie Filko.
What a wonderful monument. First of all, I just want to say a few words about the Gershonics, who I have known since we moved here now almost 18 years ago. They are just incredible people. They contribute so much to this community. Their heart is always in the right place. I have seen them on trade missions to Central America where they loaded trucks and trucks of medical supplies. We've all read the stories and know what happened after Katrina with Juan and the savings of lives in this community. And again, what you do today is just a continuation of your greatness. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure to be here. It's rare that former elected officials get to come back and say a few words, but I really appreciate the opportunity. It was a very interesting time back 13 years ago, as we all know. And for those that came back in the months following Katrina, it was a city that not only in many ways was underwater, but it was a city that needed energy and revitalization. It needed some oomph, as we say. And for those of us that were either in elected office or in leadership or just here because they wanted to be here, we remember those days when, candidly, we didn't know what the city of New Orleans would be at the time. There were planning sessions. Remember the word charrette? That'll bring it back to those times where we were planning what New Orleans could be. And while the planning was important, you knew that if it was going to work, you had to have execution of the plan. And lo and behold, in 2005 and 2006 and the years that followed, you saw our Latino workers come to our community and help us rebuild our homes, help us rebuild our businesses, and really give an uplift to this community. And the culture also changed of this community. You saw new and enhanced culture come into this great city. You saw restaurants popping up. You saw food trucks around the city. You saw a new culture that just enhanced the vibrancy of this great community, and it was very, very special. We owe an incredible debt of gratitude to the Latin workers that helped us. We would not be here today 13 years after Katrina, celebrating a 300th anniversary, had it not been for those workers coming to our community after Katrina. And we will always owe them that debt of gratitude, and we'll always look back at those times and thank them and say, you were part of the fabric of rebuilding this great city that we have today, and this monument will be here as a legacy towards that. And in closing, let me just say this. What is really special about New Orleans, it was special when my family moved here, it's special after Katrina, and special today. We are one of the most welcoming cities in the world. And what we did to welcome our Latino workers after Katrina and to make them part of the fabric and to thank them just shows what this community is all about. Thank you very much. Thank you for a beautiful monument. Thank you to the Gershonics and everybody that's here. And we will enjoy this forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Arnie. Just to close, I want to tell you all a quick story about a man named Santos Sandin. Santos came to the city of New Orleans about 3 months after Hurricane Katrina. He's originally from Guatemala, and he came here to help us rebuild our city. Santos never left. He stayed in New Orleans. And this past Thursday and Friday, Santos helped put up this particular statue, and he was incredibly moved and grateful. So to Santos and all the others who helped, this is for you.